Hello, D4Ders all across the country and world. Hello, I am Nick Colley, and joining me tonight is Yulan. Yulan,
Hi, my name is Yulan. Work as a data analyst in Houston, Texas, and I'm excited to be with you all tonight.
awesome. Sorry, I lost audio there for a second, but now I'm back. So, welcome to our first ever D4D Hackathon. This is awesome. We've had such an amazing community response for D4D. We wanted to bring a time together to allow everybody to come together, meet each other, and just work on something that we're all passionate about, just trying to make the world better with our specific skill sets in data science. So tonight we're going to be covering quite a few things, but before we do, we've got participants registered that are coming worldwide. It's amazing. Then we also have 8 on-site locations, all of which you can find this information on our hackpad, which we'll be sharing this information in just a minute. Our locations, some of them are going live tomorrow. We'll be doing a 12-hour day, while others will be starting later tonight due to time zone conflicts. So information will be getting passed around quite a bit. Make sure you check out the Slack channel, Hackathon-March 2017, for any updates regarding the hackathon. So before we do get started, we do want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. A lot of these people, a lot of these groups and organizations are donating their space and time to allow for us to come on site and work together. This is huge. So a huge shout out to them. Also, a huge shout out to Data.World, a very close partner with us for D4D. They've been a very vocal and very supportive group. They've constantly listening to our feedback, reaching out to us, seeing how they can better support what we're trying to do, and their platform is just flat out awesome. So a little bit more on the agenda for tonight. We will be starting the kickoff now. We will then go into a remote hackers pitch session to allow those that are participating remotely to pitch ideas or also find which projects they want to dive into or participate in. Starting around 7, we'll kick off the actual hackathon. That's where we all just have fun and start hacking away. One more thing that will be coming up is on the 2nd, on 2 p.m. East Coast time, we will be doing a community showcase. This is our chance to allow you to come in and show to us, to everybody, this is what our group accomplished in this time. We thoroughly believe in the community, and this is a great chance to showcase what y'all were able to accomplish. And then 3 p.m. we say goodbye and allow everybody to get the sleep they need to go through. Oh, you are not seeing my slides. That helps too. So yes, and this is the location map. Sorry. Still getting used to this. A little bit more in detail for what's going on tonight is we'll be doing, right now in the welcome message, we're going to have introduction from Jonathan Morgan in just a second. Data.World is going to do a nice little update about what's going on this weekend for their platform. We'll cover some ground rules, tips, and tricks, and then we will transition into the 6:30 remote hackers pitch session. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jonathan Morgan. Jonathan Morgan is the CEO of an awesome company, and my notes have disappeared from my view, as well as CEO of New Knowledge, co-host of Partially Derivative, and started Data for Democracy back in December. So hello, Jonathan. You are currently muted. Still not hearing you. Still not getting you through. All right. We'll come back to you in a second, Jonathan. And we'll go ahead and jump in ahead. If John from Data.World, are you there?
All right. Hey, Nick. It's really great to be on, and I see Jonathan actually just dropped out of the Hangout, and I'm sure he'll be back in soon. It's always awesome to deal with things like Hangout here, but we couldn't be more excited to be part of the Data for Democracy community and be part of this hackathon this weekend. We are sponsoring a number of the sites, and we're actually going to have 3 of our incredible employees on site at the New York City, Chicago, and Seattle hackathons to help you share data, distribute data, and work with our APIs on site. Will also be available via the D4D Slack. And also, we've created a special data set in data.world called the D4D Hackathon data set, which links will be available to that. And if you have any questions or feedback for data.world while you're working, if you post your questions there, we have employees standing by the entire weekend to help answer those questions. Again, the work that this community has done already has been absolutely incredible, and we couldn't be happier to sponsor and to help out with this hackathon. I'll personally be at the Austin Hackathon. We'll have folks at the Austin Hackathon. We are Austin-based. Tomorrow, I'll be there from 10 to noon, but we'll also have folks there all day. And I'm so excited to see what folks come up with. We're also going to be introducing some new features on data.world specifically for this hackathon. We'll be rolling out our Open With functionality, which will allow you to generate R and Python notebooks directly out of data.world to work with the data there. We'll be releasing our extended data dictionary functionality and also activity streams on data sets. So really excited about that. There'll be instructions on how to get into the experimental user group so you can see that functionality. And anybody on site or in that Q&A data set or online in the Data for Democracy Slack team will be able to help you with all of that. Thank you so much from myself and all the founders of data.world for letting us be part of this community and letting us be part of this movement. Thank you to Jonathan specifically for starting such an incredible movement. And we can't be more excited to see what comes out of this weekend. Thank you, everybody, and I'll turn it back to Nick and Jonathan.
Thank you, John. Your platform is, again, amazing, and your support is continue to be well received, and we're super thankful for it. Jonathan, are you there?
I am here. Are you guys hearing me?
We got you now.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, also second, the thanks to John and Data.world. You guys have been a huge help in organizing the hackathon and kind of making it run. Thanks to Nick for kind of coming up with the idea and throwing it out into the community. And then, as I think everybody will see, like the leads of the project leads of all the different active projects that are participating remotely, all the people who are organizing the in-person meetups at cities around the country. This has really been kind of amazing. You know, I think we started this just to make sure that everybody had a space to gather and organize and work on things where they felt like they were using the skills that they had for something that was, you know, making a positive impact on their communities. And the fact that it's grown to this size, and the fact that we're, you know, a few months in, and that we're hosting events around the country for people to come get together and meet in person, and it really is, it's pretty awesome. And I think all of this is because people have brought so much energy and enthusiasm and excitement, and have been willing to just take the responsibility that's given to them and run with it. It just wouldn't happen if the community wasn't so passionate, and if the kind of ethos of being a place that's volunteer driven and wasn't, if that wasn't something that everybody really kind of bought into and got excited about, it wouldn't be possible. So thanks to everybody who's been organizing this, like I said, to Nick in particular, to John and the folks at Data.world who've been so kind of passionate about it, and then to all of you who've just pick this up and run with it. I mean, I think you're really making the community your own. You're making it what you want it to be. And I think everybody's working on really important projects. So So thank you all, and I'm super excited to see what comes out of this weekend. I think it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. We've been hearing a lot of great interest and a lot of great momentum. So one of the things is to keep an eye out for the hashtag on Twitter, D4D Hackathon, and we'll be showing a little bit more of that. And then there's a lot of great active projects. We'll be covering more about the projects, how to learn how to dive into those, or if you have an idea for pitching one, how to go about doing that. We'll be doing all that at 6:30 tonight. So before we go any further, I do want to cover some ground rules and some tips and tricks on how to have a successful hackathon. So transitioning, one thing that we did want to cover from the get-go was the inclusive policy and code of conduct. All this information will be posted in the hackathon channel, including this deck, so you can click on all the links. You'll be able to find that, in short, we want to be inclusive to everybody. We're not responsible, D4D is not responsible for others' opinions, but just treat each other with respect. And you can go to our links and find more detailed information. But if you see anything that you feel is you're uncomfortable with, or you have a shout out to the leads or someone in the community that's really just kicking it and doing an awesome job, we're going to provide a feedback form, so you can go in and submit that information to let us know and to keep us posted.
Nick, and just to jump in here, like with the hackathon, it's just as much about the community as what you're building and accomplishing. And so be aware of who's around you and make sure that everyone feels included and that they have value in a place, whether it's someone who is writing up what's happening and telling a good story, whether it's someone who's just starting to work with data and is learning the basics of pandas or R. Make sure that everyone has a place on your team.
Definitely. So during your pitches, yeah, you know what, I can't add anything. That was nicely summed up. So some tips and tricks. First and foremost, be informed. Stay up to date with what's going on in the hackathon. Jump into the Slack channel for, and when you go there, you'll be able to see any and all updates of what's going on. We're also going to be using this for recruitment. So if you are needing people to come join your project, definitely post in here saying, hey, we're looking for some people that can do this. This is a great place to go and find some people. We've also got a hack pad that we are using, I've already had it open, for managing all the documentation for this hackathon. So if there's documentation for the on-sites or active projects, you will find all of that here. So you'll be able to go in, click, learn more, find their GitHub page, and just roll. We did list their key contacts here, and again, we'll get into that a little bit more. I'm jumping ahead. And then we will also have a general hangout. So after this presentation or this kickoff meeting, starting around 6:30, this hangout link will get shared with everybody. And this hangout's going to be used for people to come in. If you've got questions, you're trying to get pointed in the right direction, or you just want to hang and meet people, this will be the general hangout. One of the things that we're going to be the sites will be participating with and active projects is they will be hosting their own hangout channel as well. So if you're in an active project or you're on an on-site, you'll be able to dive in and participate with them. So if you're on Pacific time and you're joining the Seattle hackathon as an example, you'll be able to jump in and hang with them. And it's a good chance to meet with people. So if you're in a project and you've really never met with them face-to-face, a video feed is one step removed, and it's a great way to do it. Meet people. Oh, go ahead, Yolan.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm sure people already know this, but when you're on a hangout, on a video call, make sure your default setting is to mute yourself just to avoid background noise, or if multiple people in the same room are on the same hangout, to avoid feedback issues. Be mindful of that. Also, definitely make use of the fact that hangouts you can have parallel conversations. You can have one conversation going on in the video audio as well as in the chat. And so take advantage of those things to connect with people.
Definitely, great points. And Hangouts aren't limited to 10 people. It's limited to 10 video feed, and then everybody else that comes in can join via audio. So that is something that is kind of a misnomer. Now, for those of you watching on YouTube, if you have any questions that come up or comments that come up during this process until we open the general Hangout, feel free to go in and ask those questions. We are watching and actively paying attention to it. Meet people. Again, leverage these Hangouts. And a simple icebreaker is literally, hi, I'm Nick. And just start with that. We have a great community that's super knowledgeable. We've got people from almost every industry, from people that work with exploding atoms to stock market to doing natural language processing from various fields. A lot of great people to come in and meet. So use this opportunity if you're on site or even remote to go in and just meet the community here. It's a great networking opportunity. Yes, and this is a huge one. This comes from the comedian lifestyle of impromptu comedians. They will build upon each other's jokes. They never say no.
Yeah, so when you're building around ideas, like it's really important to take advantage of the different experiences and perspectives of everyone in your group. So in addition to yes and, asking questions can be really powerful for clarifying where people are coming from, what are different approaches to an idea. If you disagree, why is it that you disagree? If you're trying to figure out what the core of a problem is, if you keep asking questions and saying yes to everyone's perspective, you'll find that you can do more and better and faster together than you can on your own.
Definitely. Definitely. Take frequent breaks. This is something that is very important. It's very easy to get locked into a task when you're going in and just you're crunching on it, but then you may get blocked. You may get code blocked in your head. And it's very important to take a break. One technique we recommend is the tomato timer or Pomodoro technique. Very simple, very simple technique to follow, but it's also very powerful. You want to break a task down to something that's small, consumable. Set a timer for 25 minutes, work on it until you hear a ding, and then take a 5-minute break. Come back and do this a couple of times, and then you take a longer break. You'll find that you'll be more rejuvenated and be able to tackle this weekend over the long term.
And one thing that's really important here is when you take a break, don't just think of it as a mental break where you go browse Facebook or Twitter, but actually physically moving around or chatting with people or doing something completely different can be great for clearing your head and getting new ideas. And I think with that also, another thing to get unstuck, and it's not on the slides, think about what we call the rubber ducky method. And what it is if you get through a Pomodoro and you really can't figure something out, explain your problem to someone, and probably 80% of the time, by the time you've finished explaining it to the person next to you, or even to like the teddy bear sitting next to you in a chair, you've figured out the answer.
That is awesome feedback. I've actually never heard of the rubber ducky method, so that's really cool. GitHub. So code share is going to be very important, especially with group projects, especially with the community this size. So make sure you're part of D4D's GitHub. If you are not, go to the onboarding channel and post on there, and they will get you added to our community group. And then you'll be able to add your own projects and move forward. So this is a must for doing that. We do have a couple of tutorials, GitHub areas, GitHub playgrounds that you can go in and mess with without any fear of messing anything up, as well as a GitHub help channel on our Slack. So if you're stuck on trying to do something, you don't know how to do pull requests as an example, go on there, and we've got some great people willing to help you out and make sure that you're set up for success. Next, keep it small, silly. When you're working on this, we've got less than 48 hours to have something that's we can showcase or you can showcase. So don't go in with a very large scoped project. You want to focus on what the minimal viable product you're trying to build is as a team. Break it down. Do you really need that extraneous feature, or can you get away without doing it? If you're trying to do a proof of concept, even better. What's the smallest form of that proof of concept you're trying to work on? Same thing with your tasks. If you're following the Pomodoro technique, break the task down to something small that's achievable. The more of those that you come across, the more you're going to just power through the rest of your tasks. It's a strong motivator.
Yeah, and one thing to consider is also the skill sets of the people on your team. Just so you know that while hackathons are great for kind of trying new things and building things that are not necessarily what you would normally use, it's also a good practice to limit, like, this is what I know I can do and this is what I know I can accomplish, and really prioritize, this is my minimum viable product and this is a stretch goal. And if you get to the stretch goal, great. If not, you've still accomplished something.
Definitely. Most important, try to avoid the scope creep. This guy likes to come into your project and go, you can add this, you can add this. Be very wary of that. It's so easy to go, well, I can accomplish this extra thing. If you absolutely need it, go for it. But again, try to stick to your minimal viable product and just rock on from there.
And scope creep comes really easily when you go down this rabbit hole of, oh, it would be so cool if, or I just find this really interesting. And so always, I think, try to differentiate, like, what is interesting in a good question and what do I absolutely need to accomplish right now. And again, this is where prioritization comes in. This is where you manage your tasks well, so that, my first 3 Pomodoros, I'm going to focus on this task. If I don't finish them, I need to either change directions, I need to cut something off of the scope. Think about what's practical, and I think it'll help you focus your product as well.
Definitely. And if you get into 1 or 2 Pomodoros and you get stuck, ask for help. You have a community of great people around that are more than willing to help you out. So ask your teammates, go into the hackathon chat and be like, hey, I'm trying to work on this. Can anybody help out? So great places and great resources available to point you in the right direction. But last and not least, have fun. This is super important. Like, we're going to be working hard. The time's going to fly by, but have fun. This time is for us to come together as a community and work on amazing projects and create some great things. But if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. So take those breaks, chat with the people, go grab a coffee with a friend, have fun during this process. All right, we'll be coming back on in about 5 minutes for the hackathon pitch. In this chat, we're going to be talking about how to find the projects that are actively participating this week. If you have a project you want to pitch, this will be the time to come in and learn how to do that. And then we'll cover all that there. And then starting at 7, we'll kick the hackathon off and you can go rock on. We'll be back in just a few minutes.